Yes, welcome back to DR Sports for another edition of the Weekend Roundup, hosted by myself, AGT. As you can see on the screen right there, my viral interview with Jeremy Frimpong. Go and watch that if you haven't already. But enough of that. It's not a cop TV, is it? It's certainly.
You would have thought it was the way you just introed it. I mean, you had to get that in, didn't you?
Be humble, eh?
Be humble.
Right, myself, AGT. We got the chaps. Got Robbie and Matisse in the building. My two favourites, actually, if I'm being really truthful.
Wow.
Is that true?
No. Not at all. No, the only ones that showed up, to be honest. So we'll have to make do. Smash that like button. Make sure you comment with your thoughts. We have got a packed up show, including Chelsea getting embarrassed in the Club World Cup. That small neighbourhood in London, according to Flamengo. Right, we'll get into that. Arsenal cooling their interest in Sesko, allegedly, Robbie. We'll get into that. And Kerkez flying in for a medical from Belgrade into Liverpool. And Rashford twerking for Barcelona. Garnacho wearing a Villa shirt. It's all to come. So make sure you stay with us on this gorgeous Monday afternoon in London town. How are we, chaps?
I'm good, man. Yeah, I was actually watching some of that Club World Cup yesterday. It was all right.
Yeah.
He's all right. Yeah, as the competition's going along, I see potential in it. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think of the way they let the players come out?
Don't like it.
One by one.
Hate it.
I like it, man.
No.
I like it, man.
No,
You
it's
guys,
rubbish.
it's so boring,
So
man. You don't like no
American.
innovations, do you?
It's so American, though.
It's
What's
just-
wrong with it?
You try to do that at Millwall.
It's long.
Yeah, well, that's the part of the problem with Millwall, isn't it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Millwall.
You know what I mean?
You go to
Can't do anything at Millwall.
You go to Forest Green and try and do that. You
I
go to
like
Yeovil.
it.
Why do you
You're gonna
like
get
it?
laughed at?
Because it's
embarrassing.
something. You know what? When Premier League first started, right? I remember when we interviewed David Dean. He was one of the guys behind the Premier League, and he was saying some of the little innovations they came with, which a lot of them were sort of copied from American sports. People were all against, and now So one of them was, remember, I think back in the day, teams would just come out and just run to one side, to one
as it
side.
should
Yeah.
be.
But what they started doing is teams would come out, and I think at that time they had cheerleaders, which they kind of got rid of in the end. But they come out and they line up and they shake out. You know what I mean? And that became an innovation. I like this one, man. Each player comes out and each one's introduced, especially for me, right? Some of those other teams, like what were playing yesterday, I don't really know who they are. So it's a good way
Alright,
for
well,
me
name,
to
name
know.
them all.
Huh?
Name them all now, then, if you.
Oh,
enjoyed that.
I ain't going to
Yeah,
know.
I
But at least they
Still
named
doesn't
those
know
four. I like it.
I
What's
hear
wrong
that
with it?
for the teams that aren't, known, but this is
Gives
what they
a
do in
little
ba-
bit
this
of
is what they do in
character to the
basketball.
thing.
It's long.
I like it.
It's
6'8".
It's too long.
This is what they do.
It's
too
drawn
long,
out.
man.
It delays the kickoff. It's
And
just
they're all
long.
hot and bothered. The
Like,
pitches aren't
Hot
great.
and bothered.
Like,
I mean,
do you know what it is for
Just
me?
get on
yeah?
with
You
it.
lot are miserable,
Blow
man.
the
No,
whistle
no.
and play.
When you're
pretty soccer.
leading your team out as captain,
That's good enough.
and all your boys are
Yeah,
behind
that's what you want.
and you're doing the face off in the tunnel, you're looking this way, he's looking that way. Roy Keane, Patrick, that's what I like.
You can still
and
have
you
that.
walk out. No, you can't, because when you're walking out individually,
One by one.
I could go tie my shoelaces if I'm lost.
To walk
walking
up
out.
in the
I ain't got
tunnel,
time
you
to
can
standing
still be there, and then each man just comes
Nah,
out.
it's
Yeah, I
long,
mean,
nah,
it adds give a little bit of flavour to it, man.
No,
They don't
there's
let
enough
man-
flavour. We've got
Oh,
a
you lot
ball
are boring,
and 11
man.
lads on each side. That's enough flavour.
So you lot
And all
boring.
this
That's the
they're
problem with
making
that's
it
the
so
problem with
American, though.
that's the problem with football, right? Is that we don't take on board innovation sometimes.
We do.
But sometimes
Right.
don't
Just
fix
not
it
everything.
if it's not broken.
Not everything.
You know?
I don't mind it, man.
Do you like the?
You're the only person I know that likes
I
it.
like it.
Do you like the superior player of the match?
No, I'm not saying.
No.
Why? It's new. Why don't you like it?
Innovative.
No, it's not
Something-
everything. Listen, no, I'm not saying everything, but I like that. I'd like to see him bring out a Premier League.
What? Superior player of the match?
No, each player coming out individually. I like it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Honestly, I like it, man.
Honestly, if you in the comments, actually, let's put a poll up. Let's settle this once and for all.
Yeah, maybe
Let's
a lot
get
of people,
poll
they'd
up,
be boring old
and we'll
farts,
see
you know
what
what I mean?
the very intelligent audience of DR Sports thinks to this, right? Because for me, I'm not having it. He's not having it.
Nah.
Let me tell you something in football, right? I find football to be so snobbish at times, right? That we don't want to make any changes. I remember, listen, don't get me wrong, VAR is run badly, but there's nothing wrong with VAR, you know, because with the amount of technology we've got now, we needed VAR. But football's one of the last sports. You think of something like rugby, which is looked upon as quite a snobbish sport by many people, you know what I mean, like public school sport and that, and cricket. Both of them have had VAR long before football.
Do you not think there's
Tennis. I was at Queen's on the weekend, Queen's Club, watching Alcaraz, an unbelievable player, by the way.
Yeah.
The
Hospitality, a few drinks.
Don't worry about that.
Of course it was. Bit
The
of sangria,
technology.
Pims. Come on, man. Don't fool
The
me.
technology they use with the line technology, they've been using it for years, long
but
before
what's that got to
football.
do with
but do you not?
Because
do you,
that was
you a
us.
chance to boo them
No,
as well,
because
by the
again,
way.
that was football. We didn't want to bring it in.
Okay, I hear
Why
you.
change it? This, that. You know what I
Do
mean?
you-
Why
do you
we
not-
do
get
it
a
all the
poll up
time?
right
do you not
now.
think there's something in balance in
course.
terms of we should try to protect some parts of the game because at the
Yes,
end of the day,
I do.
This is the biggest sport in the world for a reason. The more people relate to and watch this sport for a reason. So we could copy other sports and change and tweak this all of the time. But at the end of the day, we're not the biggest sport in
No,
the world.
I hear that.
So why are they
I
not
hear
copying
that.
us?
But then also, don't you think as well that it works both ways? If you want to, so that American market is a huge market, right? And they're trying to get more of a market share into that market. So don't you think like some of them little innovations that might be a bit American will be relatable to the Americans and be able to bring more of them on
I don't
board
care.
into the
No.
sport?
If I'm honest, I don't care.
This is a different sport, and when they're trying to follow it, they should also recognize that and accept that there are going to be things that are different to American
Yeah, of
sports.
course.
We're
And
not
it still
trying to
is.
make a sport that is global American because of their
Yes,
audience.
exactly.
I'm not saying we should.
So you
I'm
think
not-
we
we're
should
not doing
replace
that.
penalties where they run from the halfway
No,
line
I'm not
and
saying
do
any
that?
Why
of-
not? It's new.
I don't like
Yes.
none of those. Listen, see you guys stop trying to stop trying to
fact,
twist
when
it
we
up.
do
I'm
DR
not saying
sports-
everything new. I'm not saying everything new. But I'm a guy, I'm not against innovations. I remember when I first started doing my channels, right? Everybody's, you can't do that because that's not how it's done. You can't do it. No, you got to be a bit of, think sometimes, well, yeah, that ain't been done. Let's give it a go. You know what I mean? Let's try things
All
sometimes.
right, let's flip the table.
Not everything.
Flip the
Not
table.
everything. No, listen.
How
Don't
about-
get me wrong. Not everything. I like the traditions of football. I want to keep it. I like when I go to even the FA Cup final and they've got that band playing and stuff like that. But, and let me ask you this, guys. Would you be against
You're going to say
a
halftime.
halftime
I knew it. I
show?
knew it. I knew he was going to say a halftime show.
Listen, right?
I knew it.
For the
If
FA
it was
Cup,
like nines, then
No.
yeah. But if
Yeah,
it's
FA
like
Cup
Fergie from
final.
Black Eyed Peas, then probably
the
not.
FA Cup final. When you see the Super Bowl thing, right?
Oh, yeah, but
Wouldn't you be
That's
up
unique.
for
Do you know
like?
what?
Yeah.
That's unique to them.
I know.
If everybody does it, it's not.
let
It's
them
not
not
indiv-
do
it's not
that, the
in-
halftime
individual to them
shows.
anymore.
You really think we're gonna get like Liam and Noel?
What do we do
Gallagher
at
to come
halftime
out?
now?
We go get a pint.
Go and get a pint and a pie and
We
have
go
a
get a
chat.
pint and a pie.
And even when you go to
Go
get a
for a
pint, even when you go to get a pint, the queue's so long, the thing you don't even end
I'd
up getting a
rather
pint.
stand
You just
in the
walk back
queue.
to your seat.
I'd rather stand in the queue waiting for a pint, knowing what I'm gonna get at the end of the queue, than watch.
What you're gonna do is
know,
you're gonna
Sabrina
stand in that.
Carpenter.
You're
than
gonna
watch the
stand in that queue.
Saturdays. Do a
I'll
show.
tell you what's going to happen, right? You're going to
What
stand
are
in
you
that queue to
talking
get
about?
that pint, right? You're not going to get the pint. You're going to get back to your seat late, and you're going to miss about
Not-
2,
not in the
3
box,
minutes.
mate.
You're going to well, you're in a box every game, are you?
No, I'm joking,
Are you going
I'm
to miss
joking.
2-3 minutes of the second half?
Next thing you know, we'll
I'd
be
rather
having
do that than watch.
we'll be having
like I
kiss
said-
cams soon.
Yeah,
during
what,
the game.
Tie on kiss cam at the Emirates. Also, if you're on that, how about every time we do the show on DR, we have an announcer announce us onto the show.
Yeah.
If that's what you
Oh,
want,
come
we'll
on!
do
See,
that.
you lot are just trying to get carried away. I'm not saying
Honestly, Rob,
everything.
you've
I'm not
lost your head,
saying.
mate.
I'm not saying every change. I'm not saying everything. Not everything's going to fit football. Maybe this don't fit it, but I'm not against them trying it.
What, JLS at half time and that?
But I would like for the
know what?
big, for me, for the Champions League final, and maybe it's not at half time, maybe it's before the game, but something that makes it so
Do you know what
special.
would
Do you know
Banger.
what? Do you know what it is? This is happening anyway. He's just ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
and he's gonna
He's
be on the
been told.
clips on the
He's
clips
been
channel,
told, yeah.
and it's gonna be Robbie was right.
Yeah, man.
No, all right, but what? Say you didn't do it at half time. What if you did it before the game?
Still not. I'd rather watch the warm ups. Unless it's the
Boring.
Unity Cup and
Bloody
Crucial
boring.
Robbie comes out at half time. To
You
sing
lot-
one of your
you
One
lot-
sniff.
classics. Yeah, so maybe not
See,
that.
like, if it followed you,
Proud
like,
to
it'd be the
black,
same old.
That's more.
It'd be the
more
same
your
old,
tune,
same
that.
old with you. You know, I mean, boring old. You know what I mean? You, innit?
Yeah, but if it's not broken, don't try and fix it. Don't mess
Nah,
with
but
the
you can make
traditions,
things
man.
better sometimes. You can make
All
improvements.
right, imagine you're 4-0 down at Anfield and you got to watch JLS perform at half time.
When the Premier League first came in, go and
Your
read,
head would be hot.
I'll be.
Go
You go and
read-
hide in the toilet.
Go and read about the Premier League. Read what David Dean said. When the Premier League first came in, he was coming with all these innovations.
is
They
mad.
all got shouted down. They all got cried down. And everybody, now it's made our football
Well,
the best in the world.
We've asked the
Premier
people.
League.
We've asked the people, right? Yeah, I'd look away. if I was
I
you,
know they're
on
gonna
these
go
poll
with-
results. Should players walk out one by one? We've got 77% of you, the lion's share, that say absolutely not, Robert, and
And you're all
23% say yes. It's not about being boring. It's not.
It's about, listen, all right, listen.
Name
maybe,
the champions, the Lincoln
maybe,
Park one.
Maybe he can have the show before the game. Create a day of it. Families and
If that's
friends.
what
They
you're
come
on.
early. We'll stay in the pubs, whatever. Everybody come together for the game. Kick off. No more nonsense. How about
You know,
that?
it's funny because I was at that festival over in Cannes, and there was a lot of Americans there, right? And we were actually talking about, obviously, the World Cup's going to be in America next year. We're actually talking about things like that. So, for instance, in America next year, one of the big things a lot of fans will find there will be the tailgate parties, right? You've been to America,
Yeah,
haven't you, right? They're
Yeah,
brilliant.
they are
When
brilliant.
before
I
the
do
game.
enjoy
I
those.
don't mind
yeah.
that.
But
Yeah, that's it.
I
but
don't
then
mind that. Food, though, innit?
Yeah.
a guy was asking me, he goes, why don't they have them in the UK? And I said, it wouldn't work in the UK because I said, we've got a tradition of going to the pub before the game.
But we don't have a
And-
car park.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't. Well, we
Or-
got
or
car
it's 20
park.
quid to.
Let's
No,
This
but
is Old
you
Trafford.
could do a tailgate party at Wembley because they do it for the American football games. But I'm
Or
just
a box
like,
park.
our tradition in
No,
this country.
I think we'd warm up to that.
No, but I said our tradition in this country is we go to the pub before the game, and I
And
go
after.
and I wouldn't want to change that, right? So because that's a traditional thing that we do.
So why are you trying
Yeah.
to change this then now?
But that's something different. That's nothing.
I like the tailgate idea.
Alright.
What do we do at half time? What do we do before the game? You know what I
Drink,
mean, at the moment,
alcohol.
that's part of our problems.
A lot, yeah, it is actually. It is. All right, if you're so clued up on about it, then give me your ideal halftime FA Cup final entertainment.
All right, listen, maybe not half time,
No, you've said halftime,
But-
so we must stick on halftime.
but even maybe do it before the game.
I'm-
right?
No, they
I'm-
already
big
do
show.
that. Though. No, halftime.
for
Who
the-
do you want? You've got unlimited budget. Who are you getting?
Boy, yeah.
Vibes Cartel.
Hey, a half-time show. Arsenal
Massacre.
in the final. Vibes Cartel on stage at half
The Liverpool fan.
bro.
Yeah,
Do you-
no,
do
get
you
him
not
out.
think-
Get him
I'm
out.
on that.
Do you not think
Vibes
these
Cartel,
things are
man.
designed to water down what the actual product is meant to be, which is the football, and then it allows people to kind of treat the sport secondary to all of the things that you're mentioning around the sport,
No, I actually feel that sometimes those things.
and it just becomes a big moneymaker because that's what
Vibes
this is.
Cartel.
This all is.
Yeah, in a way, it is a moneymaker and all that.
That
But
would
what
be
it does,
sick.
it heightens the interest around the game. So sometimes
But there's already
it
enough
can bring,
interest.
Sometimes it can bring people into the game.
Might
that
take
weren't
people out of the
really-
game as well.
I don't think
People
it
would
does.
stand
It would
up
take
and walk
people out of
away.
American
Yellow
football.
card sponsored by Honda.
No, those I'm against. I'm against those type of ones. But I'm saying something like the halftime show, Super Bowl. For instance, a lot of fans in the UK, right, would in their initial entry into the American football sort of Super Bowl sport would have been that halftime show.
It's once
I
a year,
remember
though.
back in the day when Michael Jackson was on it and that, like, I was like, oh wow, Michael Jackson's going to be at halftime. I didn't really know nothing about American football, and then I'll stay and watch the game, and then I might enjoy it and think, oh, actually, I
isn't
don't
that-
mind this, and that gets me into the sport.
But,
You
but
know what I
that's
mean?
more entertainment. You're focusing on the entertainment, on the sport. I've been to
Initially,
I've been
but
to
then
New
after
York.
that might be the thing that got me into it. Now
Yeah.
I become interested in the sport, and long term I become a fan.
But
These are things
I've
we
been
need
to
think about.
I've been to the Knicks versus Chicago Bulls at Madison Square Gardens. They announced them all in. They say their height. They're going defense, offense. For me personally, I can only speak for myself, from my own experiences. I didn't enjoy it at all.
I love the American football.
Can you
I
imagine?
Love the
and on the
basketball.
screens
I've been-
it's saying
I've
say
been-
defense.
Listen,
Imagine
listen,
doing
I've
that
been,
at,
I've been
at
to
Chelsea.
I've been to
West
Madison
Ham.
Square. Listen, I've been. Yeah, but those things.
They'd start throwing bottles
No,
at the
but that's
screen.
a difference for them. That's their sport, right? So I'm not expecting that to be at football. We wouldn't want that at football. Actually, when you're there, when I've been to Madison Square as well, I've been to watch the Knicks play a few times. I've enjoyed it. I've even got into the defense.
I think that's because
what they
it's,
do.
it's not like normalized for
I
you.
wouldn't
so
want that at Arsenal.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
exactly.
saying. That's
So
what I'm saying.
exactly, you
Yeah, I wouldn't want that at
Arsenal.
Arsenal defense. We've got our own songs,
There's
but
people sitting down with
I like
Arsenal.
that. I like
dogs.
that innovation.
Imagine Arsenal on the screen. Arsenal, just
Sing-
on the screen.
sing-
So what do you
After-
imagine on the screen? You look Chelsea.
We ain't got a
Chelsea.
screen.
And that's even if anybody turned up.
They don't even
Because
have
I
a screen.
saw your game the other day
Oh,
out there.
it's late.
Right?
It's
That's one of
late.
the emptiest games in the whole thing. So
It's
before you
late.
start coming,
All
yeah,
right.
I
Yeah.
thought
Pause.
you lot had a big
So
support
basically,
worldwide.
it was-
Where was it?
It was 3:00 on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
And people were still at work, families doing the school run, traffic on the roads, all sorts of things.
you
were
live there,
taking
do you?
place. Yeah, I spoke to the locals. I've got connects, and at the end of the day, it's FIFA's fault for not prioritizing
That's
the
the
Americans.
only game that
It's
MC
funny.
like that.
We're not even prioritizing the American audience In America,
Yeah.
we're still prioritizing
That's
the
true, that's a
European
good
Liverpool
point.
would have
and,
played
and,
the
and,
Arsenal
the
would have been
UK
as empty
audience.
as that.
Would have been
Because the
ram
time
out,
slots,
sell
Robbie,
half.
if you're seeing the time slots, there's one game at every time slot all day long. That's not prioritizing the Americans.
See, I'd rather watch stuff like
It's not
this on
making
the screen
sense.
now. Some portly bloke trying to fight someone with a big cotton bud. Look, this is proper hard. This is in Mexico, right? This is where they do stuff proper. I want to see this. I want to see lads fighting.
You look so boring.
Well,
man,
you know
I'll
the
tell that,
half-time entertainment. I think it was Plymouth, where the two fans home and away had to run from halfway to get the ball, and one guy just tripped the other guy off and was giving it all this to the fans. That's all right. Or when kids take penalties at half-time, like Julian did at Bournemouth.
It's boring.
Remember, the worst penalty I've ever seen.
it
by
was
the
the
way.
worst penalty I've
I'd
ever seen.
prefer that than music, because then the pitch gets
Nah,
damaged.
man.
They're
Vibes
rolling
Cartel on the stage.
I
at
would watch that, though. I'm not gonna lie.
halftime,
I would
right,
watch that.
halftime show. Or your favourite artist. Who's your favourite artist?
Wouldn't mind a bit of
Give me one of
Rihanna.
them.
Mine's
Who?
Nines.
Wouldn't mind a bit of Rihanna, you know.
Rihanna on stage at Stamford Bridge halftime. Massive game.
Depends if we're losing.
2-0
If we're
down
losing,
to Burnley.
Before the game.
if we're losing, send Rihanna home. Dead ass.
I'd have like either Jay-Z or Nas
So
or
do it before the game.
Biggie.
Maybe before the game. Like, I think like FA Cup final before it. Up on
What about
stage,
full
Rihanna.
time when everyone's leaving?
Nah, there'd be nobody there to watch it because we'd be
Before
like
the
that,
game, if it had to happen,
Before the game, before
I'd
the game, not
rather
half-time.
because half time
Not
you're
long enough.
angry at the team. You're either 2-0
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
You know, there's all. Anyway, I think we've spoken about this enough to be honest. 16 minutes. So let us know what you think in the chat. Do Chelsea have fans? We've asked. Got no fans. 63%. And 36% yes. So there's some. There's some.
Well, I mean,
So
I guess that was a factor at the time of day.
Of course.
But-
It wasn't the weekend like the PSG Atletico game was. 80k.
you didn't get the prime time, baby. You
There's
lost
been some
3-1 to
like, I was watching
Flamengo.
the Real Madrid game yesterday.
Sausage.
70,000 they had at that.
What time was that?
Prime time.
Was
Local time.
5 or 8.
Local time, that would have been about 3 o'clock as well. Like, it's a weekend.
There you go. So Flamengo 3, Chelsea 1. We must. Pedro Neto scores after 13 minutes. And then in a period of 20 minutes, Flamengo scored 2. And within that time, Nico Jackson also gets sent off. I mean, they were trolling you. They were cooking you. It was too cold for Cole Palmer to operate out there. I mean, you know, we're talking about the smaller teams at the start of the contest, weren't we? Auckland City FC. Flamengo 3, Chelsea 1.
Did you say it was too cold? Did you say it was too
d-
cold?
d-
So it was
d-
too cold for Cole Palmer to...
No, it was too hot for him to operate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He got melted.
Listen,
He was melted. He
I
condensation.
don't know what's Flamengo's beef with us on the timeline.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
speak
Just constantly.
nicely. They're actually called Club de
Nah, I don't want to speak
Regatas
nicely.
do Flamengo.
I don't want to speak nicely.
Actually,
club,
not
I don't want to speak
flamenco.
nicely because
What's going on?
they're,
Have some
they're doing
respect,
too much. They're doing so much that they're having to delete their own posts. Do you know what I mean? I don't know where
Oh, so
this
it's
random cross-continent beef has come from, but it's crazy.
Jorginho?
We don't
Did he
get
have a say in
Yeah,
it.
Jorginho was on it. No, that's got nothing to do with him. Their fans are just tapped. I'll be honest. They're
Ooh.
burning shirts, doing all sorts. What are we doing right now?
I wouldn't.
We came for a little kickabout in like
Careful
70
now.
Celsius
Careful
degrees. I don't know what temperatures it was out
Little
there,
kickabout.
Fahrenheits and whatnot.
Little kickabout.
Nah, you're disrespectful.
No, we did come
they
for
won
a
their
kickabout.
league
Yeah, I know they
Have
did.
some
So
respect.
why they moving mad for? What's wrong with them?
because they're flexing.
Flexing what? Did they win the
beat you
tournament?
3-1.
All right, cool. Did
Not-
they win?
We beat them.
Did they win the
2019,
tournament?
and we won.
They're moving too mad. So, but anyway.
I hope you don't
credit.
bump into any Flamengo fans, by the way.
Yeah, they're a global club, man. Better be careful when I'm walking around.
Oh, it's late.
But no,
Well,
good
more
performance.
fans than you.
Oh, hold
in
that
that
one.
global club.
They travelled, yeah. Of course they did. You know what I mean? This tournament's obviously like bread and butter. But listen, for me, they were great, man. Great performance, unbelievable performance. They cooked us alive. I've never seen such a second half. We just got destroyed.
Hold.
It was like I said it on my review. It was like getting punched in the face in the pitch black. You don't know who hit you. Lights turn on and you're just all bloody and you're looking around. There's no eyewitnesses. There's nobody coming up.
It's just you.
It's just you just standing there in a pool of blood. That's literally what happened to Chelsea.
Nice.
Dominated from pretty much start to finish, every single position on the pitch. I don't know. Maybe they're used to playing at that heat. Maybe they're used to playing at that intensity. As Ty would say, it's been raining. You know, I don't know. Like, there's a lot going on there. Weird lineup from the manager. Puts Reece James in midfield. Puts Gusto at right back, even though he's in horrendous form. Doesn't play Andre Santos from the start in a three-man midfield or Lavia. I don't know if he's experimenting. He said he was. Maybe he could have done more experiment then. Play more, make more rotations, make more changes. I don't know. I don't know how seriously we're taking the competition. some people say I don't mind going
See the
out
prize
early.
money.
It's a lot of money, but some people saying don't mind going out early because it's going to impact your Premier
Do
League
you not
season.
like money though, Chelsea?
I want us to win, but the window prior to the competition, you saw how City moved and what they did. We saw, what Real Madrid did. We didn't do that. We got Liam Delap and we stopped it at that. That's not enough to say that you're going to go on and win this tournament, in my opinion.
You've
You need
got
to
enough
do more.
players. You also bought players back that have been away.
No, we didn't. So we brought Santos. He hasn't seen any minutes. We have
That's
Petrovic,
two.
who didn't make the squad.
3.
Mamadou Sarr's no minutes. Insamino's no minutes. But these are all kids.
5.
They're all kids. None of them were going to make an
Ain't like
impression
you
on
brought
the
no one
11.
back, innit? You just named out 4 players that were available to him that he didn't use.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
his
that's his
fault,
fault then. Isn't
Well,
it? Yeah.
that's
Right.
why we're
And
we're
Delap.
asking the manager what's going on as well.
And
but
then that guy, Nicholas Jackson, what was he doing?
That is a
man?
salchicha.
I mean, that is a
sausage.
his tournament's over, isn't it?
Yeah, 3-game ban.
well, listen, he's banned from this. He's banned from Premier League. Maybe he's banned for AFCON. I don't know. Maybe
Why?
he's just
Why
getting
is he banned
banned.
from the Prem?
He's
Did
just
he get
racking
sent
up
off last
bans. It
game?
was his birthday as well. Some
Wow.
people saying he just wanted a card. I don't know. It's all mad. He's just getting banned from multiple competitions. I don't really care because I said before the sending off that I'm actually already entertaining kind of his exit because we got Delap, and for me, we don't go into a season as Delap as the out-and-out first choice. We should be looking for a even better striker than Delap, and Delap should be second choice. So with that means Jackson must leave. So listen, if he wants to be getting sent off when John Obi Mikel's doing commentary, when he's cussing him out, I said he's going to be dragging him from Senegal all the way to Nigeria. He's been after him for ages because he wants Osimhen anyway. So I don't know what's going on there. It's just not the most sensible high IQ move to make, but nothing we can do about it. The game was already gone. I'm not going to lie. We weren't coming back. I know the manager
Who
said,
have you got
we
next?
could have came back. After
I'll look it up.
I can't pronounce. Estepan?
Tunis.
Tunis, bruv. We might get boxed up again.
You are playing,
knows?
my friend. Juventus Man City on Thursday, by the way.
That's
but
a good game.
you are playing.
Might get boxed up again.
I can't even see it. Yeah.
It's at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday morning.
You gonna do a stream?
Yes.
No
You sure?
excuses about.
No. Listen, the international fans.
Yeah,
have to
you're
watch
playing
us at
S Tunis.
That's it. The international fans have to watch us at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I'll be there.
Hang on, are you gonna make it into the show then on Thursday?
No,
That's
it's on
at 2
Wednesday
a.m.
morning. It's fine.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday morning.
Right.
No excuses then, because that's not at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on that. So there'd be a chance for
Yeah,
fans
I'm
to
expecting
turn out.
if it's not packed, then you can have a go at me.
And S Tunis currently have the same record you. 1 win, 1 defeat. So
Yeah.
make sure you do not lose. Make sure you come in on Thursday with 6 points in the Club World Cup, by the way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what is the point?
Well, if we don't, we go home early. We get ourselves ready for the Premier League. If we're not trying to win this anyway, then we may as well go home.
I think you should be trying to win it. This is like
I agree.
good prize money, good prestige as well. As the tournament develops, I think the next time they do it, it'll be bigger.
It's a tough tournament, though. It's much
It
tougher
is.
than the previous. The previous was European
Very
teams,
tough. Yeah.
semi-final, final, Christmas time, bang, you're out.
Kind of like it in
This
a way.
is
because
really
it's
good.
competitive as well.
That's what I was
You
saying
can
to
see it.
Flex last week. This tournament's
Yeah,
got
I
weight.
remember we were saying, like
Tournament's
when they're
got weight.
disrespecting it. I think it's a tournament that will get better in time. Again, I'm not against change. I do think maybe they need to think about the timing of it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind it being in that as a team.
See?
I wouldn't.
I'm happy to skip the first
Wouldn't you
one.
mind a
though.
bit?
I'm happy to skip the first
But
one.
the next one, wouldn't you mind?
Well,
you
we're
like to
gonna
be
we're
in it?
gonna be in the next one
It's
because
on
we
a
won the
big
league.
No, it's not about winning the league. I told you it's about winning
No,
Champions
it's
League.
Champions League, isn't it?
You got to
No,
win.
but you have to win your own.
No, you got to win the European is what they're taking. Every
Yeah.
continent
I
taking their own
thought
continental
we were
cup.
confirmed because we won the league.
Nah, mate.
Huh? Oh,
Nah.
sweet. I'm easy. I'm cool with that as well. By the way.
Oh, you don't
Genuinely,
wanna
I'm-
be in it again now.
You
No,
got to do
genuinely.
something with the chumps.
I'm genuinely
When you
good
buck
'cause
Trent in the
you
Champions
see,
League,
You see
make
when
sure you do
you,
something.
Man City, and Real Madrid will run out of steam because this has knackered them out in January, February.
This
We're
is the
just going to
point.
glide through
This is the point.
and retain.
Wow. This is the point.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'll say it with chest.
Confident.
Double D's. Yeah.
Wait, is it sack done?
no. no. No.
Zubimendi.
Mark Gahey might. Sorry.
Zubimendi.
Are you really
The other
trying
day
to
you
chat to
came on
me?
here, you're running up your mouth, right?
I
About
still haven't seen him hold the shirt up.
It's coming, man. Number
Oh,
36.
Number 36.
That's what number he's wearing.
Yeah, dead number.
That's a really weird number to wear, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not wearing it.
Is
Yours.
that the amount of mountains there are in Bilbao?
No, but I
is
said,
it?
well, you said he was coming to Liverpool.
I said slap bang wallop.
Chest.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
Slap
he ain't,
bang
bro.
wallop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
He's at
Yeah.
our place, bro. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, that's good. We've got Mark Gahey coming in, and Kerkez is flying in today.
well done.
Frimpong.
Well done, but don't
Chatted to him
assume.
yesterday.
Yeah, but you shouldn't just assume because you're making those signings you're going to win the league again.
Well,
Yeah, but you believe.
What else are
You
we
got
going
a-
to do?
you got a-
Hang on Best of
got a
Enemies on
great
Friday.
chance. No, we
First
said-
of all, you called me. Oh, you and X called me out. You said
No, I
Trent's
didn't.
defending
No,
is
he-
Trent Alexander-Gilday, not Trent.
No, he called you out, not me.
Yeah. And
He
second
called
of
you out.
all, you said that you think Liverpool win it again because you
No,
all
I
did
do.
predictions.
I do. I think they've
So
got
if
a great...
you believe it,
Hold on.
surely I can
didn't say
believe
they're
it.
definitely going to win it. I said with what they're building.
Yeah, be
Don't
scared.
get me wrong. I'm not taking away from what you're doing. You're doing it
trying to.
excellently in the transfer window, but
He
that
knows
is
he ain't
not.
winning the league.
That is not an assumption that you're going to win the league.
It is
Because
for
remember
me.
when Chelsea bought all those players, people were like,
Which players? Mudryk.
Yeah, but they weren't
no,
the
remember when
champions the year
you
before
went
that,
mad
though.
on the spending,
Mudryk.
and everyone was like, "Wow, Chelsea going to do something." They didn't even get in the
Well,
championship.
Jasper Grönkamp.
Last season, I said it before. West Ham, everyone was like, "Wow, look at the Stonings."
Yeah, but
West
they're
Ham,
not.
those are
But they
fantastic."
didn't win the Premier League the year
Hold
before
on,
that.
not that we were saying they were going to win the Premier League. We thought they'd have a good season, right? Thought they'd be challenging for Europe.
Yeah.
They finished like fourth from bottom, fifth from bottom. So it's not a
Relegation
given.
scrap for you, mate.
Yeah.
No. I'm not
According
saying
to
that.
Robbie's logic,
I
strap in, guys. It's
I
going to
really
be a long
listen,
season.
I make you the favourites to win the league,
Oh, so do I.
but don't assume.
It
just
seems
'cause-
like whenever I have confidence in my team, you wish you
I
could
have
have the
confidence.
same confidence in your team
Have
to sit on
confidence, that's
here
fine.
Do you have
with
confidence?
chest and say, "Yeah, I'm going
I
to."
have to wait and see what we do first. If come the
wait
end of
and
the-
see again.
If
Wait
come to
and
the
see
end of the
FC.
window, well, the window's. I said this the other day. The window is still early in the
What's
window.
the noise
now.
when you turn on Netflix?
You said we
noise
weren't
it
getting
goes,
Super Menu.
Yeah, that. Bum FC.
I'm just highlighting it because you said we're not getting Super Menu. Yeah.
No, I
we're-
didn't.
no,
I
we're
said
getting it.
no. I asked the question: Is he
Zuber
going to
Mendy's
do
not
to
gonna win
you
you
what
the
he?
league.
Anyway, let's move on.
And he
That's
ain't
not a
done,
needle
he has
mover.
not done to us what he did to you. No.
Well,
need
you
to
almost
put- you
did.
need to put in
You
an
were
Isak
scared
bid.
though.
That's
You
what
were
gotta
scared.
do. You need
Admit.
to put in a bid for Isak.
Yeah, if you're a real bad man, whack down. Even
Yeah,
you.
but
Real
Isak's
bad
not
Put
man.
some money towards it of your own
Isak's
money.
not- he's not leaving this. So what's the point?
Nah, he ain't leaving.
He's not
And they
leaving.
want 200 mil. Matty Renton texted me saying internally they're all laughing at these
No, he was not.
figures being thrown around. Like internally at Newcastle, they're just not selling it.
Definitely not. He was not for sale. Something's not for. We did an interview on AFTV the other day. It's a great interview with an agent. Jerome Anderson used to be like a super agent, right? And he said, he goes, listen, he goes, a lot of times in fans, he goes, when a club says not for sale, there's no point. Like it's with certain players, he goes,
Test the
if they're
water,
not.
though.
No, he said, he goes, sometimes you'll embarrass yourself by testing the water because they've
Right.
already said, and you'll actually sometimes as well, it has a counter effect that you piss off a club that you're still going to have to deal with in the future because they've told you it's not for sale, and then you try and come in with maybe a big offer to try and destabilise, and they get in the future now when you want to deal with a club. There's all those things come into it as well. They think,
Yeah.
yeah, not you. Like, you remember last time? No,
Okay.
rather sell him to Chelsea than Arsenal because you don't do things in. There's a certain way of doing
Yeah,
things.
etiquette. Other results include Real Madrid 3, Pachuca 1.
With 10 men.
Garcia, Raul Asensio getting sent
Yeah,
off
yeah.
after 7 minutes.
It's a good game now.
Jude Bellingham, Arda Güler, Federico Valverde scored. Did you see what Alonso said about Valverde? He said he's like a Gerrard type player. Massive shout that. But looking at the stats, Real Madrid had 8 shots. Pachuca had 25.
They pay what?
11 shots on target they had.
Yeah, just didn't have that clinical. You know what? They had Rondon up front. Remember Rondon?
Yeah, he's the one that got
Yeah.
Asensio sent off.
Yeah, I'll tell you right. He
He's
was
strong,
a
man.
handful.
Yeah, he's
right?
strong. How
old is
but he's 35 now. But they just lack that clinical. You know what I mean? You just see a team. They played well,
35, yeah.
but
He
they
was at
just
West
lack
Brom.
that clinical edge. It was a good game.
He was at West Brom.
But even
Matisse.
when
You're
they
right.
played
10 years ago.
Halal, was it? That was
Yeah.
a good game as well.
Yeah.
So, Inzaghi's
no,
team
listen.
was
I'll
a-
tell you one
decent.
thing. Like
They're
Alonso, he's like. It was like watching Postecoglou, man. He was a high line,
Very
which
high.
was getting him into a lot of problems early on in that game. But
Big up Mamelodi Sundowns as well, losing 4-3. Very slim defeat that to Dortmund. Joe Bellingham scoring his goal. Jude Bellingham joked and said it's 1-1. He scored his banger. I got my banger. So the Bellingham family, the stock is up right now. Other results: Man City very convincing win against Al Ain 6-0. Juventus 4-1 against Wydad AC. Inter Milan beat Urawa Reds by Munich 1. So the only big team to lose, really, is PSG and Chelsea. And Porto.
That's fine.
Messi's free kick. We must. We must.
Messi again.
Rolling back the years. Again, 6 shots. They win 2-1 against 14 shots, Porto. You just shake your head. And I've seen some
Cool quality,
clips
man.
of the commentators in the stadium. They're kind of just like blown away. They don't have words because we're watching something that shouldn't be happening as a 30 37-year-old. So unbelievable. And shout out to the GOAT once again. And some big games coming up this week, including Atletico Madrid Botafogo. That is going to be some atmosphere at that game, by the way. Benfica and Bayern. S. Tunis are playing Chelsea. Inter River Plate. That's going to be a spicy one. Juventus, Man City, and Salzburg versus Madrid. And then it goes into the round of 16. The only team qualified for the round of 16 so far is...
Flamengo.
Correct. Oh, you said their name correctly there. That's good. That's respect.
Finger practically there, though, as well, Juventus.
Yeah, they'll get far in this, I reckon. Super chat time?
Yep.
Tanishk says, is it true that Parma has one non-penalty goal since January?
Is it?
According to the stats.
No, we're asking
Say it with base, though, at least.
Why would I say that with base? I'm not proud.
Well, okay. So, trying to downplay.
Is that actually true?
Well, according to the statistics.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't have a tally in my room with chalk and tally up what Parma's GA is every day. You know, that's just
you would.
not my hobby. You know.
What is he? What's happened? Is it just
defrosted?
Young player that was maybe overhyped a bit, still quality, but needs to.
Some people think it's a system. I personally, I don't think it is. I mean, he even came out and said that the manager does give him the freedom, and he just had to almost make his own decision during the Conference League final to be more on the flank and double up with the winger and then take people on and go at it. And then he started having the game of his life. The thing is with Cole Palmer right now is he still does things in a game, even if it's for a 10-minute spell where you're thinking, damn, that's a top player. But he just doesn't do it consistently throughout the 90. That last game against Flamengo, he was missing for large portions. Actually, the whole game, we didn't really see him. He was just invisible. He's there, but we're not playing through him. He's not getting on the ball. I don't know what's going on personally.
Is he being targeted in games now? They know he's a top quality player, so it's like, right, let's stick a player on him.
He's not even getting doubled up on. I don't know what's going on.
Doesn't need to. At the minute.
Genuinely.
Marcus and Ruben says, Big Bomber Clark Flamengo busting out your head. Hold that.
Do you know what's so funny? When Argentina won the World Cup, they lost to Saudi. They lost to Saudi Arabia.
Your head.
So this is a lot of noise for a one group game loss.
A lot of noise.
Let us go out the competition first, please.
Yeah, they had Messi, bro.
Yeah. Toby says Quansah would be Arsenal's second biggest player sale. It's a very good piece of business, that from Liverpool. Buyback clause inserted as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
what
says...
did he say? Quansah?
Yeah, 30 mil. 35 mil.
35.
What's that got to do with Arsenal?
No, they're saying we can sell players that aren't even that good for more than your biggest ever sale.
Oh,
so
Quansah's not that good now.
Business.
I bet they'll be saying the same about Harvey Elliott when he's sold.
It's not my words
as well.
Not my words. Oh, I did a very...
1 minute Quansah's better than Levi Colwell. Now he's not even that good.
I did a very nice tweet, a couple of tweets about Gerrard, and I wish him all the best. What a footballer. Premier League winner.
Nobody slagging him off. I mean, now that
they
surplus...
We're getting 35 mil.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the money,
club of his
surplus
dreams.
requirement.
And that actually leads us nicely onto our next super
Boyhood
chat,
club.
which says,
come through the
from
ranks.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it says, hey, Rob, let's just get straight to Trent for you, hey? Because you and White Yardie especially seem to be absolutely obsessed by talking about Trent.
Yeah,
Everything
good game,
I do, I interview Frimpong, he does a little Scouse accent. White Yardie's going, oh, so he's allowed to do accents, but Trent can't learn Spanish. Whoa, move on. You know what I mean?
That's true, and he's from Manchester.
Yeah.
So how did you get a Scouse accent?
No,
right?
he's just putting it on.
Must have been practicing for months.
Oh, he was with the
Years,
Dutch team.
maybe.
All right, La. Clara Bitsy gets in touch. Here we go. What's she got to say? Robbie, along with Cecil, tells Turkish he's not bothered about transfers and he doesn't want to talk about it whilst in Cannes. But the next thing he does is record Transfer Daily.
No,
Explain
actually,
yourself.
Well, actually, on that show, when I was talking to Turkish, that was a transfer show. We were only taking the mix.
So you didn't want to talk about...
Beach.
Oh, okay.
So we did actually chat
Sat
about
on the
transfers. So
beach.
talk the whole story.
Okay. Robbie, if you like the intro so much, why not start DR that way? That's a good shout.
I like it. I like it, man.
But then you give
DR's
people
not
the
a football
opportunity
game, is
to
it?
boo.
Diaz not a
How
football
about
game.
the DR All-Stars game versus AFTV All-Stars game? We do that if you want.
I would.
You can
I
be
like
there now.
it.
Get Michael Buffer in. Weighing in at
Coming
200
in.
pounds.
Hey,
We can't do this.
GT.
Yeah, I'll be going at that.
A little bit of drama to the
Remember, we
game.
actually did that at our live event at Toca Social. We did that.
Yeah.
I
like
got
it.
booed. I got booed. When they were doing the name call-outs,
Why?
everyone else got clapped and I got booed.
Oh, yeah.
So,
And I guess if you were doing it,
Trent thing.
obviously, I don't think you'd do it for like a Premier League game or anything like that. Or maybe you just do it for your own players. The other team would just come out.
Nah, if you're doing
But
it
if
for
you,
one.
but if it's like a Champions League game or something, I think it'd be. I think it'd be
So
good.
Trent gets that walk out at Anfield for Real Madrid, and you don't think there's okay?
I'd love
cool.
it.
Bad idea.
Trent comes out like
Tanishk
this.
says, Robbie, you mean a Chicago Bulls-esque entrance? Yeah, we were talking about that. Clara Bitsy. Robbie talks about football not accepting change and being snobbish. Whilst at the same time, he does not embrace the changes to the Champions League draws and the group stage formats.
No, he's not saying.
Oh,
no,
it's
wait a minute,
late.
Wait a minute.
It's very late.
I'm not saying that every change is
Wait
great.
a minute, it's
but
back.
I'm not saying.
That's what we're saying.
I'm not saying. But I'm not against change though. So
Neither am
even though that
Change is
Champions
good, man.
Even though that Champions League format, I had a lot of problems with it. And actually, you see them changing some of the things now for next season. So one of the big things that I had a problem with was the fact that Arsenal, for instance, we came third in the group stages, but then we had a second leg against Real Madrid away, second leg against PSG away, and I was like, "That's
We
totally...
played PSG even earlier than you.
No, but I'm saying when we're
that's
now
because they
into the
finished near the
knockout
bottom of the
stages,
table.
I'm like,
Disgrace.
what's the point in finishing third? And we got to
Or
play our
first.
second leg
Or
or
first,
first.
by the
But
way.
you got to put, that don't make no sense. Now they've seen that. Next season they've changed it. So, but even though I might, you see where she's getting this wrong. Maybe I'm not. It's not every change I like,
That was just crazy, the one you suggested.
but I'm not against changes though.
Neither am I. Just there
Not
needs to be good
against it.
ones.
Yeah,
And that one there
if
is
you're
not
going to
good.
change, let's have
So,
a vote
you know,
on it first of all.
Because remember the Champions League. Back in the day, it was used to be only
Knockout.
the champions played. Well, at that time, it was European Cup in it. Only the champions played, and they changed it. You got top four,
Someone's backing you up here
right? And
in the chat.
at that time, when those changes were made, everybody was against that. But did people moan about that now?
No. Okay. Well, Suj says instead of bringing in something new, how about fixing the issues with VAR or the referee
That's
standards
true.
first?
That's
Next
true.
thing would be trades and a draft. And then Stephen Island's grandmother actually agrees with you. Says Robbie has a point on the halftime show. Since Crystal Palace implemented cheerleaders, they've won as many trophies as Arteta. Also a fact.
That's actually rubbish because they've had cheerleaders long before we won that last FA Cup.
Yeah, yeah.
So get your facts right.
Shidey says, Don Robbie, will you be at Singapore for the pre-season?
I will.
I need you to take a pic with my Champions LFC jersey.
I'll take a picture with you, but bun that. You know?
Oh, okay. So that's
No, but listen,
how you treat people
listen,
who want
I
pictures
take
with you, is
pictures
it?
with Liverpool fans. I'm not against taking
No,
pictures.
you do,
no,
you
of
do.
course.
I can vouch for that.
With the shirt.
Edrin, yeah. Holding it up.
With the shirt.
Holding it up as
No, I
well.
won't be holding the
Okay,
shirt.
yeah.
He can hold it.
Yeah, you hold that. I was at the Chelsea versus Flamengo game just as a spectator, surrounded by Flamengo fans, and their passion is crazy, and they really dominated that game and got into your heads.
Man said he was there as an observer.
What time was that game? Was that 3 o'clock as
Well,
well?
he's paying in dollars, so he must
I
be
think so.
saying the truth.
No, it weren't no 3 o'clock. We were your fans on that
I
one.
think it was a similar time.
Got no fans.
But Flamengo fans were there.
Listen. There's going to be more
Flamengo fans
South
is there now.
American
Yeah.
fans in an American host nation competition.
Yeah,
than
Brazil's
the
not
English
exactly.
fans.
Brazil's not exactly next door to America.
It's
is it?
not next door, but
It's a good
it's-
7-hour
it's,
flight.
You
Yeah.
know, they'll be there. This is it for them. This is the big one. The European clubs need to take this more seriously.
Nah, you're
Listen to the
mocking
guy,
it.
man.
I'm
You're
not.
mocking it, bro.
We
You're
all know
mocking it.
South Americans take this competition very seriously, and the English teams are a little bit, not too sure about it.
Ah, man, you make
Or
excuses.
you know,
I saw
PSG
that
rotated
Real
in their
Madrid.
game.
Did you see how many Real Madrid fans?
Did
was
you
there
did
game
you see
yesterday?
PSG rotate in their game and lost? They made changes.
No, we're on about the fans at the moment, though.
Yeah, but why did PSG
You rotate your
If
fans?
PSG are taking this tournament
Make
really, really
changes to the
seriously, why
fans.
did they rotate? Why did PSG rotate?
Well, not about the game now. I'm on about the fans. He said like the Flamengo fans got into their heads.
Where are you?
He said he was surrounded.
They need a Dealer Smith at
The
half
fans are
time. Where are you?
representation of the club. Why did PSG rotate for the game they lost? No one's speaking about the PSG loss.
I
Everybody's
just mentioned
talking
it.
about the Chelsea loss, by the way. Chelsea.
Yeah, because you're on the
Chelsea.
show.
Hold on, Chelsea. Chelsea.
Stu's not here, is
Chelsea, a worse team than PSG, lost to the best Brazilian team. PSG, the treble winners, Champions League winners, who knocked your ass out. Yeah, right.
Barely.
What do you mean knocked you out?
Penalties.
Right.
Yeah, so
And we're not talking about their loss.
beat them
to
away
a worse Brazilian
as
team
well.
with a rotated side. Why?
No, but I'm
It
speaking about
is
the
a valid
fans.
point. I'll give
Why
you that's
not?
a valid
No,
point.
but it's the fans we're talking about. We're not on about that.
Where are you? Got no fans. You want some? Really hope Cunha dunks on Arsenal on his debut, says Ronnie Dodge, and you will be there to see it. Big up, guys. I back Arteta, but he said goosebumps. Am I being too impatient? Kepa is meh, but Zubi has been done since January. When's it going to start, Robbie? Instead of when's
Well,
it going to end, when's it going to start, Robbie?
Zubimendi be announced this week. There's a lot of people who was thinking that weren't going to happen. They said he's going Real Madrid. As soon as Real Madrid came in and that, there was, you know what I mean, it's happening.
All right, sweet.
And I think, Kepa, I think that'll get announced this week as well.
Clara
And then
Bitsy jumps
striker next.
and leaps to the defence here of Cole Palmer. 22 goals and assists in the Premier League is considered as defrosted. Fair, I guess. Coming with them stats.
Yeah, but it's not been...
Don Robbie, get Tumbleweed to present Transfer Daily. There's nothing happening. Says
Well,
Captain.
see, people say that. As I said, probably one of the people were mocking and laughing when on Transfer Daily I said that I'd heard that it's done since. I said a very, very, very good source told me that's done.
HP
Right.
again.
Yeah, well, HP's
He was
come
correct.
through. Exactly. Yeah, the HP's come
Hold
through.
tight, HP source.
Yeah, big
Other
up.
sources are available, as we should always remind them. To be fair to you, right, when it comes to consistency, the Transfer Daily is a show you've been doing for like 11 years now.
Yeah,
And Kenya put it in the group, like the first ever Transfer Daily.
I know. I
So
saw
big
it.
up
I
to you,
couldn't
man.
believe that. It was like
Big up to you, each and every time.
Well, what was the first one? What was it like?
It's like 10 pixels
yeah,
on some potato phone.
Basic.
I need to see that.
Very
Someone needs to send
basic.
me that.
You know, like the DS has a camera on, Nintendo DS.
Lord heavens.
think
There's a
so.
camera on Nintendo DS's.
On the old one, yeah.
Jesus.
On the 3310.
I can't even remember that.
It was in colour, that one, wasn't it?
Fixes in
Yeah, yeah.
colour.
No, it's good. Yeah. I'm only being
I
cheeky,
can't
aren't I?
remember cameras
Right, let's
on
talk about
Nintendo
Arsenal then.
DS's.
Let's talk about Arsenal because whether you want to believe them or not, and we'll get into the sources, reports say that Arsenal are cooling down interest in Sesko due to high wage demands and the want of a release clause. Does this mean that the Gunners now turn their attention back to Victor of Sporting Lisbon? Sesko or Gyökeres at this stage?
Maybe. I mean, what the talk's been right from the beginning is that Andrea Berta is coming as a sporting director. Does this a lot with players where he'll have two players that he's gone in for and then decides which one to go for. So it's always been the case it's one of them two he's going to get. If these rumours are true about a release clause, I would be moving immediately for Gyökeres because I don't like that. That means you're now looking at stepping stones and things like that. And I think there is absolutely no way Arsenal will agree to any release clause. And also, I don't think he should be demanding high wages at this stage because he'll still get good wages in it. But I think he's like a 120 guy right now, 120k. Then you earn
Pour
yourself
him.
up to.
Pour
You
him.
can't be coming in now and talking about 200
How's
or
he going to
something like
survive?
that.
It's because
How's
he's
he
looking
gonna
at what
survive?
Jesus and Havertz is on.
Yeah, but I still don't think you can even do that because you're 22. You're coming in as a young player. You know, they're taking a chance with you because you haven't been prolific as a goal scorer. I think you come in at like incentive base to get to that level. That's my
Gotta hit your KPIs.
exactly. So for me, I mean, listen, we don't know. These are all the rumours going around, but I think, listen, if they do a U-turn on him and decide to go, they've got another very good alternative, which I would be. My first choice has always been Gyökeres. So I'm not. At this stage, I just want a striker, right? So whoever comes in, I'm gonna trust.
Wouldn't it
who
be
they've got.
interesting if you came in for Nicholas Jackson?
No
Like,
thanks.
you like coming in for our players.
No, thank you.
You sure?
Never
No,
know.
thank you.
Are you sure?
I don't mind Madueke. I think he's a decent player.
See,
but-
look, that's another player
But-
they're
There you go.
interested in.
But-
They're just looking at
No,
all
No,
our
because I
players.
saw that link, but I don't think that's a player that we would get either. I think that's a bit of a rumor that's But I would like either of those players, Gyökeres or Sesko. But if he's messing around, get Gyökeres.
later, mate,
Gyökeres is one thing. He definitely wants to come to Arsenal. He's told even people around him that I want to join.
He told Man
Arsenal.
United.
Told Man United I want to join Arsenal. So that's and to me, I would be more than happy with Victor Gyökeres.
How much would you pay Madueke? Or for him? How much would you pay for him?
Madueke, listen, I saw he's not worth more than 50 million.
60 million. Arsenal tax 10 million.
I'm joking.
So 70 then. Okay.
50 million max, because even him, he's a good player, but again, he's still quite raw, I think. He's still a prospect.
Okay, fair enough. On Arsenal then, when are we going to start seeing the links turn from links into...
Well, I think you see
Definites.
those, as I said, you'll see Zubamendi this week. You might see Kepa, I think, I heard that those
Yay.
two are done, right?
I'm looking forward to seeing
Right.
Kepa.
You're going to do an
Kepa for
announcement
5
video for
million
that?
as a backup goalkeeper, I think is great business, right?
I agree.
But the main thing is with whoever that is, that striker, and that striker I think needs to come in before pre-season.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he will. I think that striker will come in before pre-season.
Right, he
so
has to.
I think over the next couple of weeks, max, you will see one, either Kerkez or Sesko will join.
But you're not stressing at the minute.
No, because at least I'm starting to see some movement. I think the big mistake from Arsenal, where Liverpool got this really right, is that sometimes you do have to think about the anxiety of your fans, right? Arsenal did no business in January, and it went down really, really badly. And then so, if it would have been an ordinary season and they'd say, and they'd started how to wait, people wouldn't have been losing it as much. But because of what happened in January and that, because we haven't signed a striker for the past couple of seasons, that's why fans have been losing it. But where you guys were smart, I felt, is that you knew you were going to lose Trent, who obviously was going, so you moved quickly for Frimpong. You did that, even though Frimpong...
Crowd pleaser.
Yeah, even though Frimpong weren't announced till, they knew that, like, let's get him in early, right, and let's get that all announced and that, even if he doesn't think, because then the fans will know that, all right, Trent's gone, but look, we've moved decisively. Whereas with Arsenal, they didn't. So he just left this void where people are like, look, what's happening? Which strikers coming? You know what I mean? And lots of chatter. Because the reality of it is, as long as those signings come in before pre-season, that's the big thing. Get them in early, before pre-season. Let them have a pre-season so they can hit the ground running. And that is what is going to happen with Zubimendi. But I think they should have announced a couple of weeks prior that he was coming.
Fair enough. Arsenal fans in the chat, let us know, when is that flurry of transfer activity going to start for Arsenal? When is that striker actually going to come in?
I think the striker will definitely come before pre-season.
Oh no, you
Has
to. Clara Bitsy, the best thing about Transfer Daily is the intro. I watch it for years. What is so special about this Transfer Daily intro? I know, but tell the people.
I don't know, it's just because I guess that intro has just been repeated a billion times over the 11 years, so it's become a famous intro.
Love it. Juno says, Don Robbie, will Kepa head to Arsenal to revive his career like Sterling and Jorginho? The last guy we took from Arsenal was Olivier Giroud.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Jorginho came to Arsenal and he did very, very well. And
Very,
he didn't
very
do too
well.
bad for Flamengo either.
Oh, he played well the other night.
Played all right in that game. Listen, the Kepa signing for me makes sense, right? He had a great season last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he had a better season than Sanchez. Way better than Sanchez.
Do you want him to?
Huh?
Could have free Spanish
You can keep
keepers.
him.
That's a great
I'm
shout.
surprised actually when everyone's there in. All right, I get why Chelsea wouldn't upgrade Kepa because that's been going on for too long.
We are not using him.
But I'm surprised you haven't gone and got Mannion. I was like, do you not even getting him?
I don't know what's going on there. If I speak, I'm in big trouble with this.
Apparently, you guys are happy with what you got.
Yeah, well, let them be happy. I'm not happy. I don't know what's going on.
Let them be happy, he says.
I don't want to. We're on daytime YouTube. I don't want to swear. I don't want to say things that I'll regret. I'm not.
Mike Mannion, let's
Let's let the window end. But I said
Magic
what
Mike,
I said
innit?
on that on Twitter, and people wanted to come for me, and it's not looking good.
Why didn't they go for Mannion? It wasn't like it's loads of money. Yeah?
Look, for me, when you enter a Rolex shop and you offer £10 for the Rolex, that's already discounted. Tells me you don't really want the Rolex. That's how I
Window
look
shopping.
at it. Yeah, you want to look like you want it. But you don't really want it. It's not even that you can't afford it. The wages weren't high. The fee was already discounted. You said you needed a keeper. He would have been a clear upgrade. Would have been a real, sign of intent in terms
I reckon
of
he's
the
a real
window.
leader in the dressing room as well.
Of course, France is number one. Listen, I don't know what's going on.
Okay,
not a
interesting.
journalist.
See how that one finishes. Robbie, you hypocrite, says Red Square. Last week, you said you didn't care if a player wants to play for Arsenal or not, or is that just for Rodrigo? Remember Pogba?
No, but this is different because I've not said I will not take Sesko, did I? What I'm saying is, if it's a release clause that he wants, no. That's to me, because then it's... Let's say, right, he gets a release clause of £100 million, comes in, tears it up, yeah? 30 goals in his season, right? And then Real Madrid come and activate that release clause next season. What do you think's going to happen? I want to
he's
play
gone.
like that.
Crazy.
If he's like saying, "Oh, my ambitions to play for Real Madrid in the future," and that's different because many players have their favourite team and stuff like that. But a release clause which they could come in and activate, and no chance, shouldn't go nowhere. As a top club, you don't go nowhere near that.
I agree.
Unless that release clause is going to be like, them Real Madrid
$1 billion.
ones, $1 billion.
Billion.
$1 billion.
I think Lamine Yamal, they've got like a
Yeah.
£2 billion release. If it's something like that, fair enough. But if you're saying, and what I understood, he's saying, they were saying that release clause needs to be 20% of higher than whatever. So if we say bought him for 70 million, it's a 20% premium on top of that. Nah, no chance.
Listen, it might not be true, but if it is,
might not be
I don't
true,
know who
but-
he thinks he is.
Exactly. If it's,
I don't know who he thinks he is.
It's not to say that that's true, but if that is true, I wouldn't go anywhere near.
He could stay at Leipzig. Like, really,
Yeah.
it can really happen. You can
Yeah.
really be playing for RB
Because
Leipzig
you
next season.
get that player, you could come in and sort of release clause. So could you. Come on.
Crazy.
Imagine if Isak had a release clause right now for say 100, even 100 million.
Yeah.
Gone.
You'd have multiple clubs activating that right now, and he'd be thinking, boy.
Yeah.
First
Release
come,
clauses
first serve.
respectfully are for the West Hams, Kudus,
Yeah,
Crystal Palace, Eze. Like, you can do release
Yeah,
clauses
for you
there.
and you get, so you can enable yourself to get a player that maybe, on a better price.
You wouldn't usually get.
Yeah, but you're going to come to ask for release clause so that can be activated by whoever. Any
It's
of
not
the
a good
Saudi
look, is it?
clubs. You
It's
must
not
be
a good look.
joking.
No,
Nah.
it's
Shouldn't
not
really
good
be thinking about leaving before you
Yeah,
even arrive as
exactly.
well. That is a
Have
terrible,
a bit of
terrible
respect.
way to start.
Let's move on then to Marcus Rashford, who says he would love to play with Lamine Yamal. I would love to marry Rihanna.
My favourite artist.
Yeah, you don't want to see her on the halftime show there. That's a bit.
I've already seen her. I've actually touched her hand before.
Wow, that's
Hackney Big
that's
Weekend,
great.
2012, front row. She was doing that. You know when they do that one? And I held on for a bit long. No, I'm joking. Reports are that he's
Tucked up
very
on the
open. Yeah, almost. Reports are that he's very open to Barcelona move. Again, I'd be very open
He's
to
not gonna
marrying
get-
Rihanna.
He's not going to get that.
But more
Nico Williams,
exactly. But it's more of whether Barcelona would be able to afford him. Nico Williams going to Barca makes this very unlikely as well. I mean, I almost place him and Garnacho in the same boat of they are trying their best. They're doing the peacock, right? They're flapping their wings to all these clubs. No one's really biting. No one's really doubling down at the minute. But they do need a football club to play at next season because for both of them, it will not be Manchester United. And Garnacho was pictured wearing a Rashford Villa shirt, which has caused outrage amongst Manchester United fans. And I have to say, I agree with them. I think there's a tinge of disgrace in that.
Yeah, that's bad. I saw it.
To wear another, listen, like if your brother, for example, if like Alexis McAllister or Kev McAllister's USG shirt, that's fine, that's family. And I know players have friends, you can wear international shirts, but to wear a club shirt, a club that finished higher than you, like easily, by the way, in Aston Villa, I think that is
And I think
attitudes on the floor.
This
there.
is why I
Come
don't
on, you
want
can't
him.
do that. You
And
can't
isn't
wear
he
shirts
making a
like
point by having Rashford on the
Yes,
back?
of course he is.
Standing
He
up for
thinks
him.
he's slick, but this is why I don't want him. When people say to me we're linked with Garnacho, I genuinely feel uneasy. I feel upset in my heart and soul because this guy and his brother, they like to cause problems. They like to cause chaos, and I honestly think he thinks he's better than he is. Genuinely, I heard sometimes Man United fans be, "Oh, one day he could end up at Real Madrid." What? Which Real Madrid are you talking about? B. Like this kid is doing way too much. I'm afraid he's a nice young player, but he's way too much to handle in terms of off the pitch. Too much chatter, too much noise around him, too much. Even this, what's the point? We know you want to leave. The manager's already made it clear you need to leave. If you actually do this stuff, I actually think it puts off buyers. I think other clubs look at behaviour like this and they think to themselves, if he's doing this there at the biggest club in England or the biggest club in the world, what's he going to be like at our club? Because you're not going to a better club than Man United in terms of size. You're going down from here. So I think they look at these antics. They think, I'm not sure about
why
you.
as well, right? You've been at United. All right, you're going to have to leave. And it's not because... I don't think it's the fans that are saying they want him gone. I think it's more the manager, circumstances. Why go and piss off all those Man United fans by doing that now? Where now they're all going to return against you now and you would never be able to go back to Old Trafford again and stuff like that. I mean, why do that? I just don't understand who advises these guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And like you said, if you're another club, certain clubs will be looking at it thinking...
I wonder what Flex thinks of it, what United fans think of it, because it's not just
I wanted
that.
to ask Flex.
It's the middle finger to the fans out in Asia when they did their little tour over there.
Yeah.
You know,
There was
the
that as
attitude
well.
stinks. And also,
Yeah.
it's like he's put the shirt on, he's gone to his mate, get a picture with, go on.
Yeah.
Rashford on the back, go on. Like, you're
If he's
you're
retaliating
purposefully...
at the manager, he's just he's retaliated at the manager's comments by going for the fans.
Yeah, that's not clever.
From
is
what
it?
I can see in Old Trafford have backed him and supported
Yeah.
him, and I don't get it. It's weird behaviour.
Yeah, if you're a Manchester United fan in the chat right now, Let us know how you feel about that, because for me personally, that is a big red flag for your future employers, but also your current ones. That's a big no-go. You do not wear another club shirt when you're playing for a club. Am I right?
Yeah, it's like
It's
wearing,
the ultimate sign of
it's
disrespect.
like wearing Sainsbury's when you work at Tesco.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and they will be terminating your contract as well.
Yeah.
Out there.
Wearing
When you have
a Real Madrid shirt when you're at Liverpool, you know what I mean? I mean, you just don't do those. Don't do those things, do you?
How are you going to be like this all season? Because if you are,
He's obsessed
just let
with
me
Trent,
know.
you know.
Let me know.
Absolutely.
Let me know what we're doing.
You know, you said your daughter's got a picture of Trent up in
Are
her
we
room.
doing this all
Are
season?
you sure that's not your room? You sure you don't have a picture
Are
of
we
Trent up
doing
in
this
your
all
room, bro?
season?
In a
'Cause if we're
Madrid
doing this all
shirt?
season, I want to know.
No, I'm
So I
putting
can
a
make
stop
no-
to it now.
I can make notes.
No, but
putting a stop
listen,
to it
right?
now.
The minute he
No,
was
he
away,
was
when he's doing
signing
that watch
shirts.
along, right? The
He was
minute
signing
Trent
shirts.
had a bad game, he was on it. Remember? Did you see that the other day?
Yeah.
Shocker, howler.
You won't say that he had a good game yesterday.
I'm
Didn't-
telling you,
didn't watch.
Liverpool fans
Didn't
are going to be showing up to Real Madrid games in record numbers next season.
To hate watch.
Of course.
Nah. But he signed a Real Madrid shirt, and for me, that's just as bad. And that was last year when this sausage was in the club with him. Cecil was behind the camera, by the way.
Trying to warn you.
Yeah,
He got the exclusive.
should have
scoop
listened
before
to this guy,
Fabrizio.
man.
When you told him, Cecil, he didn't want to listen, did he?
He went on Twitter and cussed me, bro.
Yeah. Did you cuss him on
Did I?
Twitter?
He cussed me. He said, stop.
And Curtis
Stop
probably.
making up lies.
No, I didn't. Find the tweet. Find that tweet.
You see?
See, no, because he's making stuff. I didn't say because I saw it. I saw
Hey,
it with my
hold
own
on.
eyes.
Wait a minute.
Let's not
Wait a minute.
go
wait
down
a
this
minute, hold
road
on.
again.
Hey,
I'm so
all
tired
those
of
people
this,
as
man.
well, right?
better get
The
tired 'cause he's
Clara
gonna keep doing this all
Bitsy and all those who
Bitsy.
kept saying about when you're going to pay X is £1,000.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And then, where are you now? Where you all disappeared?
yeah.
And I ain't heard one person in this chat talk about that £1,000 now after I exposed
You did,
that
you did. Did you see
absolute
this?
disgrace expressions.
Did you see
yeah?
this? Best of enemies.
Exposed.
Great episode
Yeah?
that in Sheesh.
Exposed the boy. Yeah?
Who actually paid for that meal in the end? Like off the record, who actually paid for
KG.
that meal? He actually did, yeah.
No, he didn't.
Nah.
We had
Oh,
sympathy
shit.
on him in the end, man. When that bill came, but we saw it, man. It's like bloody
You had
hell.
to split
Was it
that
big?
up.
It's
Boy.
Mayfair, to be fair.
That Wagyu steak's £120, man.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had a bottle of champagne in there, £2,200.
Blood fire.
I was tempted.
Did you
No
go-
drink could
did you
ever
go
be
Dutch?
worth that much. Like what's gonna happen when I'm drinking this? Is am I gonna
Literally
get wings
nothing.
or what?
No.
It's crazy.
No, that's Red Bull.
I said 2.5
No,
grand
Red
on
Bull.
a drink.
Yeah, for a magnum of Cristal.
No, it weren't Cristal. It was some other champagne. £2,200.
My taste buds better explode.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Not
No,
for me.
I went to a restaurant one time. They had a bottle of wine. That was 30 grand.
30 grand. How many bottles do you get?
You must be mad with a bottle of
It's a week's
30 grand
wages,
for
isn't
a
it?
bottle of wine.
Remember a few years ago, Bruno told the world Garnacho needs to change his attitude to succeed, and the media shamed him for saying it. And now look, when you have a plank like Havertz on the biggest wages at your club, any striker will ask for 250k minimum, and rightly
No,
so.
I'm sorry, he's not as
Says Adzi Padzi.
You listen, Havertz, despite whatever anybody wants to say, is an established German international. You know, he's won the Champions League, but he can demand higher wages than Sesko. Sesko's just coming.
Yeah.
How
Oh, he
can
coming
he
fast.
ask? You cannot be asked to be put on parity with somebody like Havertz. He's nowhere near in that.
But
standard.
according to Adzi Padzi, Havertz is a plank.
Well, that's according to him.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'm saying that, when you look at Havertz, his stock, Champions League winner, he's had big moves, he's a established German international. I'm sorry, he's just not. Sesko has to earn that level.
Yeah, I agree.
Simple.
I agree. AGT, if we can't get Isaac and we need a striker, who would you want in Liverpool? I'll go for Hugo Ekitike,
I like that. I like your selection.
because he is the next Isaac.
I agree, and I think
He's literally the next Isaac.
I honestly I get a feeling from this player,
We're getting there.
and I just feel like this is just gonna slap everybody in the face.
Yeah.
If he just gets a year and he just develops and he keeps doing what he looks like he can do. I know people say he misses a lot of chances, but I think he takes way too many shots from what I've seen on the metrics. But he moves the same. He carries the ball the same. He links things up the same. When he does get the finishing right, like the goal against Tottenham, it's similar.
finish,
Everything just feels very similar. I don't know, man.
Do you think does he fit? Yeah, I think he
does fit
He does
systematically.
I think he'd be good for you guys as well.
I agree. I want him. That's my Jackson replacement. If you get him, I'll actually be very
Yeah, hold.
worried.
Mainu been on the cold shoulder, longer drops, no final time, and linked with Chelsea, but you don't see him in a Chelsea Sancho top. Can't buy class,
see,
says
true.
MMA
That's true.
Takedown.
Look at Maynard, how he's conducted. I think Maynard's been treated really badly. Right? Listen, it's up to the manager.
I really like him as a character.
It's up to the
as well.
manager what the manager wants to do. Let's just say that at first. But Mainu would be feel a bit hard done by, right? He was the main guy kind of last year, playing for England, and all of a sudden you're just sidelined, hardly playing. But you've not heard this guy moan once.
True.
So that's the difference.
Red Square says, Robbie, you are like a prime N'Golo Conte on the Trent agenda.
N'Golo Conte.
Yeah, just
Working hard, covering space,
Yeah,
covering
it all.
ground.
I am.
Heat map is just red all over, man.
He knows.
I have that.
He
I
knows.
Crazy out here. Next up, we have Milos Kerkez flying in for his medical today at Liverpool, 40 mil.
To be fair, they are making some good signings.
Be
man.
scared. Be
Yeah.
very,
Bro,
very
Kerkez
afraid.
is gonna fit in so seamlessly. It's not even funny.
No,
He's a ball. He's so good.
They're not messing around.
We
They're
are not
messing
messing
around.
around.
He's so
And
good
do you know
last
what? I
season.
spoke to Jeremy Frimpong, I'll just plug it one more time, yesterday.
Did you?
And he told me that he wants to win 4 trophies.
That's nice. So did Verts. Verts said that as well, didn't he?
Viets. Yeah. Ambitious. Yeah.
Quad.
Be scared.
So we can start the quad
Be
stuff
very,
from
very
the
afraid.
first show. Quad. Liverpool for the quad.
Well,
That's
if,
basically
if
what you're
my
saying.
right back saying it, then he's got control of winning that, so I'll go with him.
Quad.
Can't defend.
Nah,
I'll
we're
be
not
honest.
gonna win
Did
the
you ask
quad.
him if he could defend?
Funnily enough, no. Didn't Matisse? Didn't have the time, actually. I got one of them, wrap up now. Yeah, and obviously Wirtz is announced as well. And again, Jeremy Frimpong told me he's not surprised about the fee that Wirtz has commanded. He thinks he's like one of the best players in the world. What a boy. Do you know, like when you do these things with players, right? And yesterday it was like a community charity event. So Frimpong went round and spoke to every single person to the point where I was actually waiting 3 hours longer to interview him. It was 12:20. I interviewed him at 3:30. But it's very rare that you see any footballer have that much time for every single person at this event, no matter who they were, where they came from. In terms of humbleness and
And
kindness,
he's obviously
wow.
excited to be, which is good. That's always good. That
He's not
he's
kicked a ball. We
excited.
love
He's
him already.
excited to be.
No release clause.
No release clause.
He ain't going to Madrid. Telling you that.
Hey, don't say
Hey,
that. Hey.
Right, stick a pin.
Hey,
right?
calm yourself
This could
down.
come back to haunt him in
Slow down there,
2-3
buddy.
years' time.
Slow down there, buddy.
No way.
He's
no way.
already in
5-year
love.
deal. No, big
Look
enough.
how easy it is. One
You
interview.
know these man, they
he's already in love.
archive everything. You know.
I know
Bro,
they do.
look
Donald
how easy
is
it is, you
working
know.
overtime right now, isn't he?
Nah, man.
No,
it's
but
too
seriously,
easy.
like, what a person.
Man's been
Just-
swept off his feet.
I was
One
taken
interview.
away by how open and honest and himself he was.
8.5
so big
minutes.
him up,
That's
man.
all it took.
Love that.
He's in love.
Relax yourself, man. Relax yourself. Any more super chats to finish us off? No. Moses in the chat says Nicholas Jackson to Manchester United. Here we go. I'm not sure about that one at all. But yeah, that tweet there literally seconds ago from Fabrizio. It shows Milos Kerkez and his family on the way to Merseyside, private jet. Let's have a little zoom in. Yeah, they're all looking very happy on the way to Merseyside, as they would be. Why wouldn't you? This question, there's no way I'm going to ask that question. Don't even put it up on the screen. You madman, GP. Yeah? You can see what it says anyway. Also, finally, just before we go, Pogba to Monaco. Bit of a lifeline. AS Monaco are closing in on the deal to sign Paul Pogba as a free agent. Final details being sorted, then the deal done for the French midfielder. Back in action after the long ban. 2-year contract ready. A lifeline.
I personally would love to see Paul Pogba return and do really, really well. You know what I mean? Like, his story is kind of sad, man, where that stuff with his brother, his own family, honestly, if you read up, I mean, I know, listen, no one should be taking drugs, right? Performance science in drugs. He got done for it. Simple as that. But I think there's a whole horrible background to what's gone on with him. So we got to forgive people, and I just want to see him succeed. You know what I mean? This is like, if he could come back and play really, really well and get back into that French team for next year's World Cup, I think that'd be amazing. So it'd be a good move. I was chatting to Florian Balogun. I saw him last week, and he's at Monaco as well. So I think that'd be... I hope it happens. I think that'd be a good place for him to go back to as well in France. And but he's like that story with his own family,
Crazy.
trying
Man.
to set him up and so that's terrible. So yeah, if he can get back, remember he was one of the best players around at one time.
Yeah.
But it's just that's the problem in football, right? Is that sometimes the the fame, the amount of money you're making, you attract. Well, even amongst your own family, sometimes you can be attracting, people that are not there for you. They're just there for the other things. So if he can get focused again, get himself fit, have a great season, get back into that French team, that'd be great. And maybe Monaco's the place where he can do that.
Maybe. Might work out. Sean Dell says there's over 2 million Brazilians living in the US, so of course they will show up for the game.
Yeah, but there's a lot of Brits living in the US as well.
A lot of expats, yeah.
I reckon there's probably more people from Britain living in the
Spain.
US than Brazilians.
I'm not sure. Brazilians get about. And obviously it's fairly close. No, not like that. No, they travel. There's
Brazilians
a big Brazilian
get
community
about.
in Liverpool.
Right,
Actually,
yeah.
and London for sure.
Yeah, there is. But
Maybe there's more flamengo fans
We'll have to get the stats
I'm
out for that
gonna
one.
have a-
Yeah,
I'm
in,
gonna-
you have a quick
America
look.
than Chelsea
You have a
fans.
quick look.
Maybe.
No, you have a look.
Maybe.
Liverpool's
Who knows?
transfer activity is like those of Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea and City in years past. Now it is our turn. Takeover season. It's upon us, people. Rivals, predict the season. Arsenal win the league, says K. Praj. Not for me. Not personally. I won't go down that route at all. You got the stats yet?
678,000 British citizens. So that's British citizens. That's not people that.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, well, Brazil
Yeah,
got
they
2
can't
nil.
all be Chelsea fans. Well, I know we're massive, but you know what I mean.
No, but then
Wow.
even when Arsenal go to.
Oh, he loves this one.
No, but when Arsenal go there, like a lot of their fans are American, but it's not that Let me see how many.
And also the ticket
9
prices.
million Brazilians live in the States. So
There you
actually,
go, 2
I
mil.
apologise.
9 million?
Hang on. 1.
You want us to compete with that?
1.9 million.
Blood fire. You
There's
want us to
still
compete
enough.
with that?
Yeah, I mean, Flamengo's not as big a club in the US as Chelsea should be.
I don't know. Flamengo are a massive club. They told me.
Why don't you go there and
Global
fill some
club.
seats?
Brother, have you seen them ticket prices? What do you think I am?
$30, aren't they?
No.
Giving them away. I heard.
Maybe they are now. It's too late. they were charging.
It's late.
hundreds-
It's too
hundreds
late.
and hundreds of dollars.
They were.
FFP exists over here, mate. You know what I mean?
Remember the year after 3 times second, we did a double. Very optimistic Arsenal fan there. Hoping that this year you do the double.
Well,
Double defeat, mainly.
I know Robbie's nervous about this season because he
trust
knows.
me,
I'm
he is.
saying
He
nothing.
knows this is your last chance.
He doesn't get
Maybe-
Your
nervous.
last chance around this table.
Maybe
He doesn't get
maybe-
nervous, but he's starting to get a bit.
Maybe it's better for us that no one gives us a chance.
No, it's not.
The last couple of
No, it's
seasons when
not.
people have said, I feel they'll win it, we haven't.
If
So-
you don't listen,
down that route
it doesn't
now,
matter
yeah.
if we think you're gonna win it or we don't. If you don't win it, the outcome is the same. So I'm
don't
telling you that
worry
right
about-
now.
What about you? You don't worry about yourself. You ain't got no.
I'm worried about myself.
You haven't got the Conference League to hide behind this year. Yeah,
That's true.
Maybe you
got,
need
you
it.
got a Champions League
Yes,
and the league.
we'll be there together.
Right.
What pot are you in?
No, bro, you lucky to be in a pot. You know what I
Pot
mean?
one, baby. Sit in the top pot.
You be in a flower pot, bro. You know what I mean? You
Pot
be
one.
Pot. What pot one?
Bill
Pot
and
one.
Ben,
I'm
the
in
flower
pot one,
pot.
bro. I'm in
You
pot-
lucky you ain't got to qualify for it. You know what I mean?
Pot one.
Did you finish fifth?
Yeah.
So
no,
you're lucky-
fourth.
Yeah. Once upon a
We
time,
done
you
it
had
the
to-
old school
we
way.
used to finish
Arsene
fourth.
Wenger
Remember,
way.
you had to go into the qualifications early. You remember
Nah,
you have to
man.
be played.
We done it the
You
Arsene
don't come
Wenger
back from
way.
the Club World Cup. You got a game next week.
True.
You're lucky.
That is true, man. That is true. Man United will finish in the top 4 through Sign and Bemo and Gyökeres definitely win a cup too. We will come back to this in May next year, gentlemen, says Saint Blanco. We will, my friend. But that is all for today's show. Right? It's been myself, AGT. Robbie,
Thank you.
with his stats on how many expats live in the US compared to Brazilians. No, it's what we wanted.
No, but you
It's
know
we
what?
asked for on
Right?
the show,
That
actually.
doesn't come into it because when Arsenal play over there, right, we got the same amount of
Pack it out, yeah.
packed,
And us.
bro.
Yeah.
When you're at the Club World Cup next time, show us what you can do.
No, we would
That's
we
true.
would be
That's
packed.
a good point as well.
Are they going to be at it?
Well,
Oh,
you,
oh,
you're
oh,
talking
but there's
like
a
you're already in
There's
it.
an issue,
You
isn't
gotta
there?
be in it to
What
win
have you
it.
got to do to be
Yeah,
in
you've
that?
got to
We'd
win.
have more fans
What is
there
it?
than City. We'd have more fans there than Chelsea.
We'd
That's what I
have.
know.
This will be
Sold out.
Future tense.
Sell off.
happened yet.
SoFi Stadium sold out. I've been to that stadium in that Lincoln Fields. Sold out. That stadium where the Real Madrid is, Charlotte. Been there. Sold out.
Of course we were.
You're
Yeah.
talking like Beyonce.
Sell
right
off.
Yeah, it's not your personal tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
they-
If you want the tournament
This-
to be
this-
sold out,
Arsenal
This is
graphic.
Robbie Lyle and friends.
Arsenal graphics, stadium, sold out, little stamp, sold out, little stamp. No
if you want it
trophies.
sold out, you
No
want people
trophies.
there. Infantino, invite Arsenal next time.
Oh, so now you're begging
No,
to
no
be in
trophies, but just
there.
sold
no,
out.
No, it's like you
Sell
know when
it
a
out.
friend says, "Bro, I know
America's
we're
like
doing
money.
an event. I want to support you, but
Yeah.
can I get on the guest list?"
Yeah.
No, the tickets are £10. Be a good friend, and this is you.
Americans want money.
Arsenal at the O2.
Oh,
Get
so,
us
now,
there.
so now you're trying to buy your way into the Club World Cup
No,
instead
I'm
of
just-
actually lifting a trophy.
No, I'm saying
you
if
just
you-
want to slip in
if you're
Fantino a
one,
little
the
brown
team for-
envelope.
Yeah, well, how many trophies? What's it? Was it Sturm Graz? What are you doing?
Ah, so now you're.
What are they doing there? Ahead of
Champions
us.
of Austria, mate.
Is it
What are you the champions of?
Austria? I thought you had to win a European trophy to get. How are they?
Oh,
there?
so Auckland City have won a European trophy, have they?
No, what is
So
what's
there's
the
only
Austrian
two,
team?
There's 2 max teams.
Salzburg, sorry.
Yeah, there's 2 teams max.
How comes they're there though?
2 teams
Yeah,
max from
Salzburg
each
are
country.
bad,
That one's kind of lost me. Well, how comes they're there?
2
Salzburg.
teams max from each
Dead
country.
there.
So then
Is that why?
then it's coefficient points, I believe.
But why is Salzburg there?
Get your
I-
points up, man.
I guess they got the most coefficient points outside of, I guess, Italian,
Oh, tight Sturm Graz, man.
No,
Spanish,
Sal-
England,
Salzburg.
Oh.
Spanish, England, French, and then then they were. I don't know, but they were,
straight
I saw
into-
I saw the list and they were there, and I think they took your place actually, from what from what I was told.
Well, I want all them grounds there to be empty. Serve you right.
All right, so now you don't want to. So make your mind up. Do you want to be in this?
Barca are not
No,
there
no,
because
what
Real
about
Madrid
the
and
Salzburg
Atletico
one?
are there.
They finished second, just like you did.
And Atletico must.
No, but
Atletico
what-
have done better in the Champions League in the recent years than Barcelona. Barcelona were under Xavi put into Europa League twice, back-to-back seasons.
Yeah.
So it's not just about winning the Champions, because not everyone
Right.
can win the Champions League in the space of 4 years.
What
How are they
It's the
going to
points,
do
it's
the
the
next
points.
one then?
You weren't in it for how many
No,
years?
but-
20 years you were in the Champions League?
20 years. Shut up.
It's a good
You're
seven,
now you're,
probably.
why don't we have enough points? Of course you weren't there.
How are they going to work out the next one?
Same way.
No, they'll introduce some more rules to get Liverpool and Barca in the next one. Maybe Arsenal still won't have won
You
anything.
can't get the points if you're not there, Robbie. You've only
You've got
been
to be
there
in
for
it to win
one
it.
season,
Well,
2
you've got
seasons.
to win it to be in it.
They were only there for 2 seasons out of the last 10.
Right.
And they
AGT,
took 2
anyone,
free kicks
right,
and
for
they
the next
And
one,
they think they're going to be in it.
anyone
Mad.
who didn't sell out a stadium at least once barred from the competition.
Automatically barred, yeah.
You're out.
And the points
You're fired.
can come from Europa League, but you lost to Sporting Lisbon.
As the guys from Flamengo
true.
said, you're just
a
a
great point.
small little area in London.
Listen, don't worry about the
Chill.
Flamengos, man.
What was it? London Blue.
The hate watch for Flamengo is going to start. Watch, I'm going to be doing Brazilian League watch-alongs.
I'm supporting Flamengo.
Most
You know what I mean?
random beef ever, by the way. Matisse and Flamencos. The animal or the
Flamengo
the
versus
football club?
Santos. I know who I'm supporting.
Oh, you're really trying. Don't.
I'm on to them, bro.
Don't go to certain places. In
I'm going to
London,
go out
bro.
there.
You know
I'm
the
gonna,
Brazilian
that's
for
going to be
Carnival
my
Day?
next travel vlog. I'm going to go out to Flamengo. I'm going to beef them.
Oof.
Live
You won't
in
come
person.
Back.
Well,
Me and the
Brazilian-
Bavelas.
You won't go, oh no, you definitely ain't coming back. You definitely ain't coming back. Do you guys think United will finish top half? Says Juno.
You're saying what City of God's doing.
Hopefully not.
Right.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they don't finish in
Who,
the
sorry?
top half.
Man
United. Top half.
Uh,
I'm going to say no again. Why not?
top half.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll finish top half.
You reckon?
They won't
Big
be as bad
improvement
as
then, if they do that. Kwanzaa sell is bigger than any of Arsenal's, says Sebastian
You read
Burke.
that already.
Well, it's another one. Different person, actually. So why are you getting rattled?
But none of you making up any noise about Kwanzaa, the fact that he came through the ranks.
Oh, no, he like,
Oh, yeah.
when there's nothing...
He'd
when
sell
there's no leg
Elliot.
to
He'd
stand on.
sell off Elliot
When
and
there's
Jones
no
as
leg
well.
to
This is the
stand
kind
on,
of
he goes back
fan
to
loyalty
the
that,
Trent
that
thing.
Trent is meant to
loyalty.
believe in.
Yeah.
Harvey's
Trent
my
has a
guy,
bad
man.
season.
Yeah.
They'll sell him 35 million,
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah.
All that loyalty for nothing. This is how you treat Elliot Jones and Kwanzaa and all these guys.
Champions, mate.
Kelleher,
Oh, there's
all this loyalty.
Money.
For nothing.
a bit of money.
Oh, money. Now it's about money. But for Trent, it could be about money.
See?
It's
It's
money
a
for Liverpool
joke.
fans.
It's a joke.
It's not money for Trent.
See?
though.
Relax
Can't
yourself.
be about money
Relax
for
yourself.
Trent.
Relax yourself. Right. Weekend roundup. That was a very good show on a Monday, if I don't say so myself. We'll be back on Thursday with much more of the same. Also, don't forget, live at 5, our new transfer show here on DR Sports. I'll be back in around about 3 hours, 15 minutes for a bit of that as well. So make sure you join us live at 5 there. Robbie, Matisse, you've had a good laugh. I feel like we've all colour coordinated today as well. Do you know what I mean?
Mad.
No logos, just nice little
tops,
pastel
if you put
colours.
these tops together in the washing machine, my top.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Love that. All right, smash that like button, people. If you haven't already, go over and watch that Jeremy Frimpong interview, and we'll see you on the next one.
Is it
Take
out?
care.
Is
It's
it?
out now.
Oh, I didn't know.
Go and watch
You
it.
recorded
Share it,
with
in fact.
Jeremy Frimpong.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.